Logic and Eminem want to tell you about their
Murderous, bloodthirsty fantasies.
on a new song, Homicide, in which they both kind of employ the greatest cliche of rap, I guess. The one that can fool people into thinking that rap is, fire, and that trick, like many other cliches of mediums that can trick people into thinking that there's some substance there. That trick in rap is just rap really fast, and as long as you're rhyming, it can sound like you're spitting the greatest bar since Jesus, and here is no different. Now, that's not to say that there aren't any enjoyable bars. I thought the Red Rover bar from Eminem, sort of talking about how he's had to explain his bars to people now, is kind of funny, but also kind of sad, because it's like, you have to explain the thing that you made and people can't figure it out to like a debilitating degree, then maybe it's just not, it's not all the way there. But there's two verses here. It's Logic and then it's Eminem, and they basically kind of throw the baton to each other, and that was like one of my favorite parts out of this whole thing. So that really goes to show how much I enjoyed this. My favorite part was when they did the chicka chicka chicka, and then Eminem's like chicka chicka, like it basically is like a tag, like your turn, and I thought that was cool. They passed the baton. It was nice. I thought that part was nice. Logic's verse was like, there was nothing there, because literally if you slow it down, there's like no substance there. He's just literally saying like, I want to beat all rappers. And then also, you can't do the whole like, I'm the best out here, let's stop doing this high school gossip type shit, but then like also be like very, very quiet when J.I.D called you out and said your manager tried to do this. And usually, typically, when rappers throw out this challenge, I know like it's more like just to kind of puff out their chest verbally and lyrically to really make people like, oh man, he's really out here in this rap game doing these things, flexing on these people. But you can't do that when you were publicly challenged in a song, Trigger Happy, not too long ago, in which J.I.D basically said you wouldn't do anything, and then you dropped a song with Eminem saying like, yeah, I'm gonna take out anybody. You can't do that. You can't puff out your chest and then like, I hate this thing in rap when people pick and choose their battles. I mean, I understand it's a strategic thing, the whole surgical summer between Pusha T and Drake. I get it. I understand the strategies of like not responding here and responding there. It makes sense. But don't say that you're like this top dog that is like untouchable and innovative when you became a meme, and like that was like kind of the bigger thing that came out of it. The best rap memes are usually hilarious, but you don't want that to be the crux of like what makes up why people talk about you in recent years. Recent years, becoming a meme is kind of a little bit of a death sentence. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. There's funny rap memes with like good rappers, like J-Rock. I gotta go get it. Like, there's funny ones, but yeah, that was just really hypocritical, and that bothered me, because I was like, you didn't even say anything to the guy who said you wouldn't say anything. He basically, he called you out, said you were a little bitch, and you didn't do anything. Come on. So, beyond that, Eminem where Logic's was really simple in saying, like, I'm gonna take you down, and blah, blah, blah. Like, there's not really anything clever that Logic says. Like, there's nothing I took away from Logic and be like, it's just kind of the rhythm and cadence, where the rhythm and cadence is the sly thing here, because you kind of go like, okay, this is like, you hear it, it does have this infectious nature of making you be like, man, this sounds cool. But then you actually look at what he's saying and you just go, yeah, it's not like a party song where the goal is literally not to really tell any like crazy narrative that's supposed to capture your attention. It's supposed to just be a background thing. This sounds like, hey, I'm like one of the top dogs out here. Here's all the cool ways I can say that. You didn't say anything. And it just... yeah. Eminem was a lot more illustrative and clearly employed a lot more words. And I'm not saying like, oh, you have to say different words to sound good, but... you gotta say more than like the bare minimum. The power of words is that they can paint pictures when our brains can't, take what we're hearing. That's where you come in and you make us imagine the thing. Yeah, Logic didn't do that. Eminem did it, and Eminem's was kind of funnier, even though it was like, it wasn't really, oh man, but like it was still pretty cool. And I think that's just Eminem like doing like kind of. I feel like he was almost casual here. Again, the whole speedy thing I think is kind of played out, or at least I think like a lot of people now kind of regard the whole rapping really fast as kind of just gimmicky at this point. It's not really anything that's like, oh my god, because if you do hear it sped up and you slow it down and there's like, and you hear the words and you're like, okay, so like, I think a guy who's really good at rapping fast but actually saying cool shit and being able to be heard and be understood is J.I.D. He says something and like, you're freaking out at his breath control. You're freaking out at the narrative pacing. You're freaking out at like this illustration that he's made, and you're freaking out like about the meaning and like how it has all this different stuff and how he's able to kind of like rip his flow into shreds, bring it back, and like do all these different things. And here's just like, and I'm just like, okay, that's cool, but like, J.I.D. shows you can take that and make something out of it because he's not just sticking to that. Again, like I said, it has like that catchy itch, and the baton pass between Eminem and Logic was cool. Like, I like the way that they did that, but I feel like this would be a cooler moment maybe if like, you know, Logic and Eminem have had like, if they were in different time periods when this happened, like not literal, like I'm not saying go back 1960s, like maybe like Logic comes off really successful album or something, and then like Eminem had dropped Kamikaze and never even did the whole freaking, oh god, Jesus, I can't even remember the name of it. Instead, he just did Kamikaze. And everybody's like, oh my god, this is great. You know, then it would be like, oh man, Eminem's kind of passing it off to him, but Eminem ending the verse kind of doesn't really lend itself to that sort of storyline where you hear that passing the baton, you know. But Homicide, it definitely, it was fast. That's what I can tell you, other than the other stuff I said for like 7 minutes. Actually, I did forget some things. I didn't talk about the intro or the outro. Here's my thoughts on those. Intro, trash, stupid, unfunny. Please never do that again. Outro, amazing, hilarious. Please always do that. Chrissy Elliott's Eminem impersonation had me in stitches when I first saw it, and it's no different here. Although its inclusion, I guess, clearly should indicate that this song was tongue-in-cheek, and I may not have picked up on that. But again, even if it is a tongue-in-cheek song, it's not really. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to finishing this video so you guys can see it with your eyes and stuff. I mean, it's an alright song. I'm not saying it's bad. It's not bad. It's just, it's okay. I don't feel like I want to go back and listen to this. I'm not interested in it, and yeah. Please don't murder anyone, people. Or I guess murder tracks. Please murder tracks. Like, actually murder tracks. I would appreciate that. Well, this guy says, don't murder people. Just murder, like, the French fries that are coming out the oven, burger that you really wanted to eat, the other burger you really wanted to eat. Those are better. The chips. Come on, people. Wake up.